It was a help he got from his friends which dash him through the tragedy. Supported, helped, parked, boosted. Which is the best fit? Confused in option A, B, D. Please explain, ma'am. This is like a trick question, right? Because A, we obviously know C is an illogical word. B and D all kind of produce the same effect. In terms of collocation, if I have to put a question, right, what helped him through the tragedy? Keeping in mind the word through, what support he got from his friends makes sense, right? What boosted him during this tragic phase? So if you ask me, just by me asking questions, right, what helped him through the tragedy? I would say what support, I wouldn't say what supported him through the tragedy, I would say what support he received or he got from his friends, whatever. Again, what boosted him through the tragedy? When I'm asking these questions, the one that sounds correct and contextually right is what helped him through the tragedy. But there's a lot of, redundancy in meaning. But still, I would lean more towards option B. Boosted means same thing. Encouraged. Boosted means encouraged, helped, same thing. But in terms of what's the most effective word, right? See, when you boost is more you will use towards, improving something, right? Like promoting something or stimulating something, that's when you use boost. So in the context, I don't know if it's a very effective word. Again, instead of saying what supported him through this tragedy, I would say what support he received or he got from his friends. That makes sense. So in terms of just collocation, I would go with what helped him through the tragedy, the help that he got from his friends, whatever that help was, though it's redundant in meaning, right? So I don't remember if I answered this in the forum, but this question is very familiar. So I'll go with helped. Really? You guys have boost? Okay, chalo. So that's where this is. I'm going to park it at B, but I really don't know. Yeah. So I'm going with B for this. Okay. So in case anybody wants to know, hey, what's the answer to this? I'm going with B. Okay. You promised to come out, but you did not. Turn. Options out, up, for, at, on. So obviously this is a phrasal verb. And the meaning, the context is giving is you promised to come, but you did not come. Which means you did not appear. You did not arrive. Right? So the right phrasal verb that will give that meaning is turn up. Right? So it's a phrasal verb. I'm sure you need to be inclined with as many phrasal verbs as possible. Right? Just to give you an example, half the guests failed to turn up to my party, meaning they did not come. So this phrasal verb turn up also has other meanings, right? One phrasal verb can have more than one meaning. So turn up can also mean like turn up the radio, increase the volume, right? And there are other phrasal verbs with turn. Turn for is not the right construction. You promised to come, but you did not turn for is incorrect, right? The phrasal verb is turn up because the context is giving me the meaning of boss, you did not arrive, you did not appear, you did not show up. That's what it means. No, that's what I'm saying. Turn up has different meanings, Vijay. That's what I'm saying. Turn up the radio. Here it means increase the volume. It can also mean, it can also give a meaning of, something which is very, very obvious or evident. Or if I say, hey, something turned up, so I couldn't go. Right? In this context, what is the meaning turned up is saying? Maybe something happened unexpectedly. Happened unexpectedly. Turned out that way. But I have no regrets. Right? So something turned up, so I couldn't. So other things like turn out, that's one. To end up or result. Right? It can also mean turn out the lights, shut off. turn in, to hand in something, or to inform, or to produce, turn down. So there are various phrasal verbs. Just get familiar with all of them, and that's about it. Okay, so the first question we have is from, okay, as soon as you see it, it's a single blank question. So let's quickly address it. Legislation was passed to punish brokers who dash their client funds. Okay, options are devastate, devour, embezzle, defecate, and dawdled. Okay, so we just need to figure out which of these options is the right fit, right? The most effective word or the closest word given the meaning of the context. So Monica's doubt is, Madam, embezzle and defecate have the same meaning, then why option D is the answer? Please explain. Okay, so we've ruled out other options where we're talking about what is the clue word in the context. Can somebody identify that? That will help us to eliminate wrong answer options. First we need to understand the meaning of the context, right? And there are always clues in the context. So can somebody identify what the clue word is in the context, right? The clue word is funds. Legislation was passed to punish brokers who dash their client funds. So this action word here, the verb, right, is doing something related to the funds, client's funds. Punish also is another clue word because that is the action taken to punish them. Why are we punishing the brokers? Because they have done something to the client's funds, right? So if you look at the options, devour is an unrelated word here because we're talking about somebody. I can immediately relate to a lion devouring its prey, or somebody who's really hungry devouring their food, right? So it's an unrelated word here. You can quickly eliminate option B. What about devastate? Because these guys, the brokers, did something to the client's funds, and what they did is devastating. So you can explain the action as saying it was very devastating to the clients, right? Again, in the context, that's not the right option because it's not telling me what they did. It's only explaining that the clients might be devastated because the brokers did something. You can eliminate option A. We are fighting between option C and D. What about option E, dawdled? What does that mean? Anybody? What is the meaning of dawdled? Have you heard that word before? Is it a new word? Dawdled means to waste time, right? So here again, dawdled is not the right word, right? So dawdle means slow. Somebody mentioned that. Again, an unrelated word. We can quickly eliminate. Now between embezzle and defecate, the actual meaning, when I say embezzle, both of them are sometimes used interchangeably, but usually you would use embezzle with respect to money. If you look up the dictionary, right, the meaning, it says you are taking money that has been entrusted with you for your own personal use, right? So embezzle, the clue word is money, but when you're saying defecate, you will use funds. So the actual thing boils down to what's the difference between money and funds. So you can say funds are large sums of money, right? That's the variation, slight variation, right? You usually kind of ask your friend whether you can borrow some money. You don't say, can I borrow some funds? Right? So that's the difference for you. So because of our clue word funds, defecate would be the most closest option or most appropriate word. Are you following? Legislation was passed to punish brokers who defecate their client funds. So meaning wise, embezzle means to take money for personal use. So this money was, somebody entrusted that money with you, but you've used it. Defecate means to misuse funds, right? So because our context very clearly says funds, we are falling back on option D, the more closest one. Okay, Nidhi's question. We dash had finals next week. Take, are taking, will take, took. Okay. In learning, ma'am, I told that if we are confirmed of something which we will do in the future, then verb can be used as present continuous. But here, from Talent Sprint answer, the concept's reversed. Suggest something. Okay. So here, see, it's very simple. I don't know what context this is or where you saw it. For me, the clue phrase is next week, right? So I don't know what this had is doing here in the context to start with. And yes, present continuous can express future meaning. So we are taking our finals next week. Makes more sense, right? So please tell me where is this source and what it is. So this had is inappropriate in the context. Okay? So if you tell me where the source is, I can probably go look it up. I have no clue. I'm not able to recollect. Okay? So that's about it. Are taking will be correct if had is not there. Let's move on. We are going to take is also correct. We are going to take our finals next week is also fine.